So I have a pulmonary embolism, and I don't know, maybe more than one. But they're going to transfer me from this hospital near my house to a different hospital in Clearwater to probably perform a surgery to manually remove the clot or clots. So please be praying for me. So this is going to be a tough video for me, but the last couple of days have been eye-opening for me. I'll try to get through this video. It's going to be tough. So you saw my most recent video on May 11th, Mother's Day. Then I went out to dinner with my family to Kobe's, and we had a really good time. I got home that night, and it felt like it came on pretty sudden. But I know I've been talking about like the difficulty to breathe for the past few days, and on the 11th it got even worse. It was, I guess, like the sensation of not being able to breathe wasn't really as bad, but what got bad is my inability to just stand and walk. So like I was in my house and I would walk from this couch to my dining room table over there, and I was out of breath. It's like I had to sit down. Talking about it just makes me remember those feelings. So I was debating on going back to the ER. I just went probably a week before that. I forget what day that was, but I was debating on it if I wanted to go back. I knew that it was definitely not normal for me to be feeling that way. On the 12th, I think that was yesterday, Monday. I had an appointment with my doctor to get the follow-up MRI scan and to talk about that. So I'm talking about that sensation of breathlessness. So I was thinking very much of just going to sleep and waiting until the next day. But then I was using Grok AI, just talking to it about my symptoms and how I felt. And it told me it said that I should go to the ER. But besides that, even if I wasn't using that, I think I still would have ultimately made this decision to go back to the ER. I went back because I knew that feeling just was not right. It was caused a lot of anxiety in me. So I went to the ER. This time when I went to the ER, they did a blood test, and they checked my D-dimer enzyme, which tells you if you have any blood clots in your body. And the doctor, I don't know if the doctor was trying to not make me panic or what, but he said it was slightly elevated. And he said if I did have a clot, it was probably a small clot. So then I started to get concerned about that. And he said also I don't know if it was also an enzyme or what, but whatever they checked to check your heart, to determine if your heart was damaged at all, he said that was kind of elevated also. So then I started to worry. He went off to do something, and then I was in this room waiting, and the nurse comes in, and the nurse just kind of like drops the truth bomb, and she said, "I can't believe how high your D-dimer result is." I'm like, "What do you mean?" The doctor said it was just slightly elevated. She said a high D-dimer value is 500. Mine was 6,969, 6969. And that's what she told me. She said that was high, and also the other enzyme for the damaged heart was high. So then I really started worrying because almost 7,000 is much higher than the high value of 500. So that's when they decided to transport me to a different hospital. So I was transported via ambulance to the ER near my house to one in Countryside in Clearwater. Now, just to give you like a little timeline of when this happened, I arrived to the ER near my house around 9 or 9:30 p.m. on the 11th. And all this stuff took until I think 7 or 8 the next morning on the 12th. So I arrived to the hospital, and I forget what I forget the test that they first did. Pretty sure they put an IV in me. I think they took blood to do some tests. They did a CT scan. Pretty sure that one did a CT scan. I can't remember now what hospital did what. But basically, the other hospital was talking about how I was going to be a good candidate. He said, well, they confirmed that I had blood clots. They said I had at least one in my leg, that leg that swelled up. It did have a blood clot. And there's a blood clot in each lung. I had a pulmonary embolism, what I was afraid of. And they said that due to the size of the blood clot, they said typically they would just put someone on blood thinners and let them dissolve. But mine were pretty substantial. So they said I would be a good candidate for, I forget what the full name was, like, I'm going to mispronounce this, thrombotic endoscopy. No. It's basically this procedure where they go through the groin. They go through the groin and then through your heart. I believe that's a vein that they're going through. So they go through the groin and then through the heart and then from the heart into the lung. And it's like a little conduit, or what do they call it, catheter. So it's a catheter that runs into the lung, and as they're doing the procedure, they used, I believe it was X-ray, to see where the clots were in the lung, and then within the catheter, they run this tool that sucks out the clot. So I was talking to 3 different doctors there, and one doctor was saying, he thought I could, all the doctors gave me the option of either, going on the blood thinners and letting it just dissipate over time. One doctor seemed very impartial to either option. Then another doctor, who was the doctor that could actually perform that procedure, he told me, the way that he explained it was that because of these blood clots, they were pressing on my heart, and they were actually damaging my heart. My right side of my heart was enlarged. And he said it was an option to let these dissipate over time. However, that could lead to permanent damage of my heart. And also it could lead to, I forget what he called it, but some sort of situation to where like the heart readjusts itself, the way it beats, to compensate for the clots. And they said that could lead to even worse problems. So that's when he suggested, he said, if I were you, I would definitely do this procedure. So I did the procedure. And it was something that I've always feared like all my life, about having to have some sort of procedure to my heart done. But they did it. They they ran the catheter through. I don't really know at what point felt the worst. The catheter through my body, I think, was okay. I didn't really feel it too much, but when it got to my heart, like it, he told me too that during the procedure it would make your heart flutter, maybe skip beats, which it did. It, I felt like when he moved it through the heart into the lung, when they found the clot and removed the clot, it made like this vibration feeling. And then when the clot got removed, it left like a space in the arteries, and it's kind of like, imagine draining your sink or bathtub. It's like once you unplug it, there's air there. And then like your heart, pumps blood into that, blood goes into that empty spot. And I think that's what caused the arrhythmias, or like the fluttering of the heart. That sensation was not a pleasant sensation, obviously. Um, but I think probably the worst part when it came to these arrhythmias and skipping is when they actually finished the procedure and they were like pulling it all out. My heart, it just felt like it was skipping a lot. And for the procedure, they gave me, I don't know what they gave me, some sort of anesthesia. Is that what we call it, anesthesia? So I was like, I felt good, but at the same time, I felt like I was in my full sense of mind. Like I was thinking normally and I was responding to everyone normally. So although I felt kind of good, it's like I felt like it was almost no anesthesia at all. I felt like I was completely awake and aware. I had to do certain things during the procedure. I had to like inhale air and hold air into my lungs so they could inject contrast and then take a picture to identify where the clots were in my lungs. So I had to be alert and to do this procedure. Um, so it went well. He told me, this procedure doesn't remove 100% of the clots. It would remove, if it was successful, it would remove most of the clots. And it was successful. He removed most of the clots. And I can breathe much better now. But I still like thinking about the way I felt of breathing. I'm very anxious. Like I feel like I'm just naturally an anxious person. I feel like I'm sure a lot of us are, but I feel like I'm very in tune with my body. When something's off, it's like I focus in on that and worry about it. Um, the procedure was really tough for me to do. And even like deciding if I wanted to do the procedure or not. It was like, he was asking me if I had any questions. I'm like, I have a lot of questions about what ifs. But, I thought to myself, if I don't do this, my heart's going to be damaged, or, I could die if more clots move into my lungs. So in my mind, I didn't have a choice. I know that they were telling me that I could let it dissolve naturally, but there could be downsides to that, such as like permanently damaging the heart. So I knew that I could not do this procedure. There were also risks to the procedure too, and like I said, I had a lot of questions, but when I realized that I don't think I really have a choice, I just stopped asking those questions. It's like, no, I'm fine. Let's just go on with this. Um, so very happy that the procedure went well. I feel blessed. Like I really thought I was gonna die. It was. I've never like I've never had to face a decision like that before. I feel like that was truly a life and death decision. I mean, it wasn't really much of a decision. I had to do it, but just the situation, extremely scary. I did pretty well during the time. I think I it's like I knew what it all meant, um, but I just had to do it. So, um, I don't know. I feel like it is definitely like giving me new perspective. Um, just like during the whole time, not during the time of the procedure, but like afterwards, later that day, just so many things were running through my mind of like what mattered in my life and what didn't really matter, what I want to matter in my life, and yeah, it's just interesting how a situation like that can make you realize what's important. So I think I've identified a lot of things that I want to change and improve on. So that's what I'm going to work on. But anyway, after that procedure, I think I was done with it around noontime yesterday. After that, I was around. My parents were there, and my cousin was there. I asked her to come for the support. She's also a nurse, but it was for her support also. Then I think I went to sleep around. Well, not sleep. I tried to go to sleep at 6 p.m. Um, the windows were still pretty light outside, so I had a bunch of light coming in. And just I kept thinking about that sensation I felt in my chest, and like I kept just thinking of that. It wasn't like a strong pain, but it was like imagine someone sticking a metal rod in your heart and like poking it. Basically, what it felt like. So just that sensation and feeling I kept thinking about, and I couldn't sleep. So I remember like the night prior when I started at the yard near me, I didn't sleep at all. So I hadn't slept at all yesterday until I tried to go to sleep until 6 p.m. I don't know what time I actually fell asleep. I remember a nurse came in to my room like around 10:30 or 11, I think. And I remember like being startled by them. I like instantly I had my eyes shut trying to sleep, but I wasn't really in a sleep. Um, so I know they came in like around 11, and I think I fell asleep probably some time after that. Uh, I woke up around 6:30. I feel like no, I think I woke up on my own accord on 6:30, or there might have been a nurse in the room. I can't remember, but I will say today, like later today, I saw a new poke in my arm. So I don't know if they tried to give me something while I was sleeping or what, or maybe I woke up and just can't remember allowing them to poke me somewhere new. But I woke up with you can see the bruise. Woke up with that. That's where they. I don't know where I got that poke from. This was one IV, and then I had another IV on this arm. So yeah, it's like a pincushion. Um, woke up this morning around 6:30, and I was in at Mease Hospital in Clearwater. I was in the ICU, and today they transferred me to a lower the regular emergency rooms. That was around breakfast time, so I think that was around 9:30 or so. Went to a regular room, and then that was basically just waiting for some final tests. I talked to a doctor um, about the medication that they prescribed, the blood thinner medication. Um, Asked him also. I'm sorry, my nose is getting stuffy now. Asked him also about what caused these clots, and he said, "With you, probably." Well, he didn't say probably. Said being sedentary, so sitting so much. Um, I know that I've been walking a lot prior to my leg issue, But the problem with the walking is that I would do it all at one time during the day. So typically after work, I would walk around the block. Sometimes I would walk during lunchtime, but I don't think I was consistent with like doing it throughout the day. So what I have to do is just he told me since we now know you develop clots, he said that you need to get up and walk around. He said nothing intense, but you have to get the blood flowing in your legs. So he said every hour to walk around for like 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes. He said stretch also, stretch and walk around for at least 5 minutes every hour. So that's what I've already started doing today, and also having your feet up helps. So he gave me that information, and I started the blood thinner. I took my dose for tonight, so I'm praying everything goes well with that medication. If well, please pray for me also if you're watching this. Pray that the clots. There's still clots left in my body. There's clots. A friend's calling me. There's clots. At least one clot in that leg that swelled up. There's one there. And they don't really know if there's more anywhere else. They know what's in my lungs. I think there was probably small ones left in the lungs, things they couldn't get. But all of those will dissolve over time. The blood thinner prevents more clots from forming, but your body will dissolve the clots that are there over time. They said it takes about 3 months for those clots to dissolve. So it's a very scary experience, but I guess everything happens for a reason. Definitely feel like I was given like a second chance at life. That's how I feel. For some reason, I don't know, I had in my mind for like maybe the past year or two about this year 2025. Like I just felt something was going to happen. I'm not saying this is what I felt, but I just felt something about it. I was born in '85, and my birthday is on the 25th of April. So like, we're numbers that end in increments of like 5 and 0 for some reason stick out to me. And the year 2025, I don't know, that stuck out to me. So I just thought that was interesting. But anyways, thankful that God definitely pulled me through this. I actually have a photo of the clots. So I'll add the photo at the end of this video. If you're squeamish, and then stop watching at the end of the video. But when you see those clots, I mean, it's nothing less than a miracle. After the procedure, the doctor that I talked to today, he said, I was lucky. He said, it's like I got shot and didn't die. It's like, yeah, shot by a bullet, but you lucked out and you didn't die. So I know God had a hand in not letting me die from that. Because those clots, the clots that you'll see, they traveled through my heart to get to my lungs. So it's definitely a miracle. Just, please keep praying for me. And we'll see what's to come. All right. I'm going to end this here because I need to do it for myself, and I need to get to sleep. So I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.